Hello, my name is Markus Römer. I'm a consultant and auditor. Beside of that, I'm the ambassador of the ISPE for the German-speaking area, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. And I want to talk to you today about fantastic ISPE good practice guides and the GAMP 5 second edition. I have shared my screen again, and I can show you only basically public documents. So if you go on the website of the ISPE, it's called ispe.org, it's an organization, publications, guidance documents, you will get an overview of the provided guidance documents. There are different types of guidance documents. One of them are in the area of GAMP, Good Automated Manufacturing Practices. And since 1.5 years, we have GAMP 5 second edition. The previous edition, the first edition, is from 2008. Quite a very good document with great input, but today I want to show you something else. As you know, the structure, it's very often shown as a pyramid, that you have the GAMP 5 on top, and then you have the good practice guides below of that. And here on the website, you see the different good practice guides that are in the moment that you can buy on the website, like for IT infrastructure or for mobile applications on your smartphone, iPhone, whatever. There are 3 special, I would call it, category series of RDI, records and data integrity. But today I want to share my enthusiasm about other good practice guide. It was coming out in 2021. Good practice guide, enabling innovation. And yes, the title of that is really playing the music in that. It's absolutely fantastic. It's wonderful written. And if you are purchasing GAMP 5 second edition, this good practice guide is referenced, linked about 24 times. If there's any criticism on GAMP 5 second edition, is that they have more than 100 links and references in there. And sometimes if you want to read GAMP 5 second edition, you must have other documents from the good practice guides, like testing or IT infrastructure and compliance and so on. And again, enabling innovation is referenced 24 times. It contains 102 pages. It's from September 2021. And if you click here on table of contents, you see also here another YouTube video describing the document. But I want to do that also on the table of contents. Then the table of contents is opening. And this good practice guide basically contains 3 areas. Critical thinking. Maybe reading that, it is a little bit short, but you must think about your approach for critical thinking. There's a reference to an article from 1986 or something like this. You can design that in a more modern style, applying critical thinking, practical considerations. If we also think about data integrity, we talk about process mapping and data flow diagrams and things like this. I find it sometimes a little bit funny that if we look into our regulated structure, we have, I would say now, very frankly saying, we have tons of SOPs for anything and anywhere. If you ask, do you have an SOP, a procedure, a work instruction, a style guide, whatever, how you map your processes, how do you draw your processes? Sometimes I get the answer, yeah, we are using MS Visio, or the techie guys will say we use Miro or something like this. And I say, no, I'm not asking which tool you are using. Some are also using PowerPoint and whatever. I ask what kind of tool you are using, what kind of methodology are you using? So I'm a big supporter, I'm a fan of the SIPOC methodology. like any methodology, it has advantages and disadvantages, but you must think about how do we map our processes. We are sometimes not that good in defining processes. You might ask for people, how does that process look like? And you get 5 different definitions and explanations. So this is something that we really need to think about, that critical thinking, not thinking and doing validation of computerized systems in a silo approach. Think out of the box. That's very important. Where are the data entries? Where can data be changed? These are static data? Is that dynamic data? Do I change here critical quality attribute within the process? So it's not the best part maybe in this good practice guide, but it gives you a very good understanding what the definition of critical thinking could be. What is absolutely fantastic is the second part, adopting agile software development. You must not move from a waterfall methodology to an agile model, and the organization might need also be an agile one. However, a lot of software is developed today in sprints. The V model sometimes is very static in real terms, and it was always like this. Software development consists of iterations. You will not have the finalized source code in the first 15 minutes or something like this. It's always step by step, getting the right solution for you. The best chapter here is 3.5, tools instead of documents, thinking about how do we develop software, how do we do requirements management. Validation sometimes is not very good in the terms of release management, patch management, change and configuration management, and it's impossible basically without working tools to have a good traceability between your process requirements, so whatever you call it, C requirements, custom requirements, down to development requirements, D requirements. This is a wonderful chapter. I can only honor the people who have written that. I don't know who has written it, but it's absolutely fantastic. There are some sub-chapters like saying acceptance instead of approvals. There's a misconception of using electronic signatures. No question, a qualified person or the head of QC, they must sign, they must approve a certificate of analysis or batch records or whatever. But acceptance, if you use a tool in this area, software development lifecycle, whatever it is, Atlassian products, Microsoft DevOps, Monday, Redmine, whatever, you don't need to have electronic signatures in that, like you would put it on a GMP role, for example. It's wonderfully written. Things like these tools, and we don't call that applications or computerized systems. There's also very often misconception. Somebody saying we must validate it. For sure, we must implement tools in a proper way into an organization. I have seen sometimes that people were saying we have 5 tools and none of them is working properly. No, that's okay, but you do not need to validate them. But for sure, you should know, define your requirements, your processes. You must train the people. We talk also about data quality, and you must assure that the information is given there that it's accurate, right? So, but it's a wonderful, I cannot show you the details, just to tell you some things. That was my personal highlight in reading GAMP documents in the last 2 years, tools instead of documents, wonderfully written. The third part is about ITSM, IT service management. And I must also say, even here, it is fantastic what was put into that chapter, mentioning that you should have a CMDB configuration management database. That's your starting point for qualifying an IT infrastructure, to know your technical configuration items, CIs, and what kind of CI attributes, CI types you give to them, that you can define qualification or pre-qualification or type qualification approaches. Using a CMDB, it's very important from a regulatory point of view. I'm very happy that this is mentioned in this good practice guide. And they also mention ISO standard. In our industry, a lot of people know the ISO standard 27001 for IT security, but what is your IT department really doing? What is their job? And they also refer to another standard, ITIL. It's basically a British standard, IT Infrastructure Library, but this is not a certification standard or something like this. You can do trainings, it's very important. Another good practice guide for operations of the ISP is mapping ITIL to the traditional classical GAMP definitions. It's also quite very useful in that context, but a good ISO standard for the IT department is ISO 20000. And the special thing about that ISO 20000 is exactly defining how the IT processes should look like. It's not a good idea that you give your IT to say, okay, we will roll out the PQS, the pharmaceutical quality system, into your business area. The IT is doing services. They do not basically have a product. They might also do application management for ERP systems, MES, and so on. But basically, the IT is doing a service management. Second idea would be to give the IT department a quality management system. Now, again, they don't have a product, they provide a service. So they need to have an SMS, and ISO 20000 is defining an SMS. SMS stands for Service Management System. And if I find an IT department, it does not be certified, but oriented on ISO 20000, they have a CMDB, they have a good ITIL tool for whatever problem, issue management, change in configuration management, and so on, then we can talk about a qualified IT service management structure, providing the right services for the regulated industry, not depending if that internal or external organized, and then you can run your validated applications on that layer. So you see here also other things like the different service models, risk considerations, governance, assessment, management of the IT infrastructure. So this is wonderfully written. I do not do that very often, but if you want to purchase ISPE GAMP 5 second edition, I strongly recommend to you that you also buy the ISPE GAMP Good Practice Guide Enabling Innovation. It's wonderfully written. It contains really some highlights, how to use tools, what are the considerations for that, and how the IT service management should be set up, independent of it's a SaaS or the cloud solution or internal IT or anything like this. I think that's a very good practice guide. I could do advertisement for that, what I'm doing today. I want to share my enthusiasm with you and to say that's really a great thing. Think about that if you want to purchase that, and it's worth the money. It's very simple. Not every good practice guide is the best in the world, but here we have a very good one. Thank you so much. That was the GMP Detox session for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel. write any comments or write directly to me if you want to have any topics on that. I already prepared also the next session if I ask Gemini if a qualified person can be replaced by an artificial intelligence. And I asked Google Gemini directly, and I was very happy about the answer. The simple answer is no, but this will come in the next session. Today we were talking about ISPE GAMP 5, second edition, and the good practice guide enabling innovation. Have fun with it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.